24. Life was not cruising along. It was 2.5 years of hectic, severe illness in the family, epilepsy of my partner. And then it was kind of like we were all going down with that really severely, and then the catastrophic event happened where he got beaten up and given a brain injury, and that was after 14 years of being together and 3 children. I had a new baby, and that just ended it. He ended up in hospital. Because I was already emotionally and nervous and physical exhausted already, when I got the phone call that he was on life support up in Southport and I was down at Fingal Head, I just remember I just sat. He'd been walking, he was trying to get to healing at the back of Murbar, walked over the bridge at night time, some fellas in a car harassed him, so he went back, they jumped out and beat him to a pulp.
Being locked up in a house while he went out. He'll deadlock all the windows, the door, screen door, and I was a sort of like a bird in a cage. That's how he kept me, until one day his father came over and said, I can't get out because he deadlocked the screen door on the outside. So what if it's a fire? How she's going to get out? Well, he said, I don't care. I don't care if she gets out or not. It's not my problem. And Tommy tried to choke me. His parents. One stood at the lounge room door, while the other one stood at the kitchen window and just stood there and done nothing to help me.
Through domestic violence as a teenager, early years, the impact. I'm still suffering from it, even though it happened more than 20 years ago. The words are the things that stick in your mind. You can get punched and bruises go away, but the words always stick. Smoke burns, put a cigarette out on my belly and things like that. Yeah. You're a piece of shit, you're nothing, no one will look at you. What other words? If you leave me, I'll kill you. And I really thought that, if I did leave, that would happen. Yeah. And I was worried about, if you'd done that to me, where was my children going to go?
It happened in the main street where he hit her, and she ran into a shop, and she just had to, she rang me and she was crying. She was in the toilet, public toilet, crying and saying, Mum, can you come pick me up? And I said, I'm not coming to pick you up unless you make that stand. I said, you need to ring the police. And she did.
He got found guilty and he went away, and yeah, just being left alone and the loneliness and then the struggle of raising children on your own, and just I think that, and I don't know if it's so much, probably betrayal, but I don't feel like it's too much the betrayal, but it kind of destroys your womanhood as well. And it's taken me a long time, really. Probably it's taken me the whole 17 years or so to get over that. Yeah. Like to get my womanhood back, and that, I still am, I could be with someone else, or, I'm still a woman and good enough, and, someone else would want me, or that wasn't even why he went and did that. It had nothing to do with that, me not being a good woman. and I really know that. And but yeah, it took a long time to realise that.
Yeah.
And you know, that was huge. That's a huge thing, to have your whole womanhood damaged and disintegrated and yeah, just not have any feeling of worthiness, or you know. So it did that majorly for me. And then the other things were like being lonely and struggling with the kids on my own, and you know, just being angry that he would do that to go away and leave us, you know, like be deserted, you know, abandoned, have all that. And then for the kids, you know, they, one minute they have their father and next minute they don't have their father. And you know, he was a good dad when he was home. He's a good father, he's a good husband and a good father. He's just his outside stuff, you know, which obviously we are a part of that somehow because it affects us. So, you know. And then, yeah, they haven't had their father for most of their life, and because he's still there. Over the years, you know, I've tried to cast my mind there to that and just think, I can't go there because it's just so, I can't even imagine him doing that. It's just bizarre. It's just totally not who he is. So it's like two different people, you know.
It was really weird because there was so much to deal with how Anthony had become that it consumed everything. So as far as even dealing with police or who had done it, we never had the space to even deal with it, and it was kind of like it was kept right away from us. There was just no chance to ever feel the anger, and I know I did in little bursts, like when I saw, the police never came and talked to me. In all of that, they never once drove to my thing and said, oh, this is the report, not once. It was like we didn't exist. He has a big loving heart, and he'd never been abusive to me, ever. Always became abusive to me with his mouth, and he, you know, grabbed my hair one day and just yanked me onto my ass, and I was in shock because he was always a really gentle person, and I didn't even cry. I was just like, who's that? It was like he was possessed by something else. And then, you know, he took my daughter because I ended up getting a home just around the corner from him, still in our beautiful Fingal, and then he got evicted out of the house that he was at, which was our family home. And Spirit said that he needed to come and live with us for a little while to heal his relationship with his kids, and that lasted about 3 months. And then he got violent with Ava. She was probably about 9 or 10. And I had to say, right, you have to go. But the way I had to do it, because it was so unpredictable and scary, we planned to go away, and I was going to ring him from where we were to say, now, you've got 3 days, it's time for you to go. And his instinct knew, and as I was walking out the door, he was going, you've got something to tell me, you've got something to tell me. And the fairies and the angels said, it's going to be alright, we're looking after her. And I'm like, it's all this fear coming, because he used to jump on the car as we were leaving. And I told him, and he took it really peacefully. We walked out the door and he let us go, and he had that 3 days and he left. I've had to face his death, his possible death, so many times. Like preparing myself for it, preparing the kids for it.
We went to court and he was put in on probation. The ABOs never worked on him. Big impact on me, where I got to the point where I wasn't a woman anymore. I had very low self-esteem and frightened of getting into another relationship with me ever again. It took me a long time to get over all the verbal, the mental tortures that I've been through with all my relationships with my until up till now.
It also affected Mum because Mum used to see the black eyes. So every second or third week I used to walk around with black eyes, or I never used to come out of the house. You know, each time I'd have a black eye or bruising, they'd sort of look at me and, Mum, what happened? They sort of knew in the back of their mind that he'd done it, yeah. And it was sort of hush hush, I wouldn't, but they knew what was going on, yeah. There were times when I just wanted to do away with myself. I didn't want to be here anymore.
For me, what I also understood a lot over the years and kind of wanted to have a voice about is that you have the actual victim, and I certainly feel sorry for the actual victim, and you have the perpetrator, but everyone forgets about the family, that they're also victims of that crime for what it does to you and your life, and you know, the trauma and the pain and that it brings to you in your life, personally in your own self, and then what happens around you. So yeah, and that they tend to get forgotten, that, you know, that you're not a victim or whatever, or like, so what, you're the family of the perpetrators, like you're like a criminal too, and it's just like, no way, we're innocent bystanders. So this crime can just affect so many people and have a fallout on so many people and so many lives that can just go on and just domino effect and roll on for years, like, you know, till you can try and sort it out or find some peace and move on from it and not be emotionally affected by it and be free from it, you know. But I've gotten through it, and yeah, I'm just and I'm still getting through it, but from learning and growing and understanding all those things, yeah, it makes it's easier. You get free, even if that thing is still happening, or it doesn't matter. You come to a point where you're free and you can see more clearer, and it doesn't emotionally, like, yeah, you're not attached anymore to it. I try to operate from my higher self and do what those old people and that big fella tells me to do, to try and make my life less traumatic and not easier to be able to handle things.
Well, it was a real relief. So there was one part of it where I wanted to take revenge on myself because of what my daughter's been through, but I just let life go on, and, you know, and justice come to her. She's gone to jail for 2 years, and she's going a whole lot better, even though she hasn't left me, and because I've been helping her with the kids, because the kids went through a fair bit too, where he wanted to chuck one of the kids out through the window and everything. So it really hurts you inside, because, you know, that's your daughter, and, you know, you brought her up the right way. What made me keep going was I had my kids beside me and my husband, and they stood with me all the way. They knew what I was going through. I went through that much where I was having panic attacks, everything.
I don't know where it come from, but I just decided to call the police. Yeah, and he ended up getting 3 months, and that was time for me to, you know, move on.
Some white women even try and take their own lives because of what they've been through. There was nothing there for us, anyone or any place to go to get help, to get out of that suicide rate. It's like a feeling that out there that there's nothing, no one there to talk to about it. We just seem to bottle it up, and it's not very good for us.
And it's my first time doing the masks. And doing those masks brought a lot of stuff out in me, just by putting those, painting the mask and things like that. And each step, each day was, I guess, was me going through what I was going through.
Because I was having to deal with so much at that particular time, you just, like, your own feelings of that kind of stuff, just until now, you know, this is 10 years later.
At first it was a bit hard for me to open up, because I don't usually open up about this stuff. And over the days it sort of got easier, because we're speaking about it, and yeah, there's other people out there who are going through it, you know, and I thought at that time that I was the only one going through it. By going through that experience, I feel I'm more stronger now, more wiser.
I won't tolerate the name calling, the swearing, or the bashings. We're not going to put up with it no more. It's not us, and we're not going to sit back and take it. We've got to stand up for ourselves, and that's what I'm doing.
After so many years of it, it's amazing how we adapt to it. You come to a deep acceptance that everyone dies eventually, either in a nice way or a bad way. So there's a deep acceptance in me now about that side of it. He's lived such a painful existence, and the only way he stayed alive was for his children. That's all what kept him alive. And strong soul. I honour his soul so much, but I still get pissed off when he drinks, because it's making the journey a lot harder, brother. And that's how I tell him. I tell him that way. I tell him very straight now. I'm beating about the bush, and I'm actually able to laugh about it. I don't get off the phone feeling sad or fearful, maybe, you know, a bit concerned for my children, that they're going to go through pain if their dad passes, but that's life. You know, I've accepted the death, and, you know, can't stop it.
So there's got to be a strong message sent out to women or men who's in a domestic violence, is to get out, stay out, don't go back, because it'll be the same. We've got to be strong and stand up what's true to us, our heart, our health, our life.
And it was a real hard journey for me to move on in life. And now I'm just slowly getting there, but it was hard.
And you can come to that council meetings, and you can find that everybody's there against the violence and stuff that's happening. And they're all elders, you know, so, and they keep saying it's a cultural thing. It's not.
There's something wrong with the system. There needs to be overhauled, big one, major one, for people who doesn't do time for their crime. Like we got a lifetime sentence with it. we're the victims, we've got to deal with it all the time. This is like we've been sentenced.
At the end of the day, you know, we are stronger than them because we survived.
Healing yourself and growing and changing, I think that's been the most amazing thing and the best thing for me. I love it. I actually love it, even though it's been so painful. I love it that I am just, yeah. So I'm going to get emotional because that was just huge for me. That, yeah, I have grown. And I am heading to my higher self. It doesn't matter how I got there. All I care about is how I get there. Because that's what we're here for. And unfortunately some people have to go the hard way. You know? And that just makes you someone really special and really huge anyway. The harder the journey, the bigger the spirit. So good luck.